Welcome back to Giant Monster Games. I'm Adrian. We are playing Budget Mir? No, we're playing Budget Merfolk today. And we can keep this opening hand, I think. This is actually not terrible. It is our opponent is playing first, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Our opponent plays a foil island. It just looks like a miscolored island to me. That's fine. It is our turn. Let's play our Cosi's Trickster, even though our opponent may not be playing anything that shuffles his deck. But it is it's a common thing. Lots of modern decks do a lot of shuffling. And we'll throw out our Paradise Mantle and ship it to our opponent's turn. See what they have in store for us. I'm assuming we'll actually see something now on their turn. Second island. It's not a lot of shuffling. Whenever it deals combat damage, it profilates. Okay, that's interesting. I think we're playing against a budget kind of brew going on here. That would be my assumption. We could either Puresight Merrow or we could wait to Mana Leak. I think I would rather go to combat. See if our opponent wants to trade with our Cosi's Trickster. I'm assuming they don't. Our opponent will be playing 3 drops next turn, so I think we're going to Mana Leak them. So we're actually not going to play our Merrow yet. So go to our opponent's turn, and we will see if they play something. Okay, so they're playing something that is going to bounce artifacts from their graveyard back to their hand. I think I can use this in other decks, actually. Now that I think about that, I should maybe make a note of that card. And what is our opponent going to do? He is going to combat. He is going to profilate. He's going to do 1 damage and then profilate, but he has nothing to profilate with. So he has no counters to actually put on anything. He's untapped. What is he playing? Nothing. He plays nothing. Okay, well, that's a thing for us. Seize Claim, you are probably going to come out at the beginning of our next turn. In the meantime, though, we will play Merfolk Sovereign. Cancel that. We are actually going to play Cold-Eyed Selkie because I'd rather get card advantage. Even though, I mean, this would obviously give us a little more damage, but card advantage is going to be way better for us in the early game here. Begin combat, attack in for 1, no big deal, and ship it to our opponent's turn. See what they have in mind. I'm assuming they're going to swing in for 1. They may play something. They may have held off playing anything because they thought we had a Mana Leak or a counterspell in our hand, which is generally a safe bet. And our opponent just passes the turn. Okay, that's fine by me. Well then, if that is the way it is going to go, I think we are going to play, what about Regery or Sovereign? Regery is generally better, so we're going to play Regery right away. Get it onto the table. Go to combat and swing in with both of our guys. Cold-Eyed Selkie actually has Island Walk, so he's unblockable, which means we are going to draw 2 cards from him. Or her. I think it might be a her. I don't know. Or it. It's a fish. I think maybe more accurate statement is it as a fish. Until end of turn, it becomes a 1/1 snake. And the question is he going to block it? We're not playing anything else this turn, so does our opponent block? He does. Okay, so he's going to lose that guy. So we are still up on board presence. We just lost one of our draw mechanics, that's all. He played a forest. Okay, Seize Claim, you have earned your keep again. Because our opponent is probably playing a Simic deck, which actually totally makes sense now that I think about him playing cards that are relying on tokens. Wow, that guy is big. Begin combat. And Seize Claim again. Okay, I think we are going to Seize Claim your forest. And we could play the Merrow, which would tap down him, and then we can get into damage. Yeah. The other option would be holding onto the Mana Leak and countering, but I think developing board state is a little bit better bet, because we're already up on board state a little bit, and I'd rather keep pushing the board state up. Okay. Yes. Then we will go to combat, and we will swing in for 4 damage, and pass it to our opponent's turn. See what they decide to do. They don't have a forest anymore, so they only have islands. what is this? At the beginning of your upkeep, put a counter on it. Then if it has 5 or more counters, you win the game. Whenever a source deals damage to you, remove a counter from it. Okay. That's interesting. So that's how they're basically aiming to win the game, is by getting 5 counters on her. Very good to know. Our turn. What do we do? If we play Cosi's Trickster, we can tap down either of these guys. If we play Merfolk Sovereign, we can also tap down either of these guys. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to play Merfolk Sovereign, and we're going to tap down his creature here, because she has a bigger butt. And now let's go to combat. If I swing with just him, he takes 4 damage or blocks. If I swing with everything, he will block the Merrow Regery. So we're going to go that way. We're just going to block. We're just going to swing with one guy, which is fine. He will either block or not block. I'm assuming he will not block. Remove a counter from this lady. And... oh, I mean, there's no counters on her yet. But he is going to be aiming to profilate to make it so she gets a lot of counters. So we'll see how that works out for him. That's an interesting game plan. You know, this seems like a kind of deck I would build, actually. This is kind of a little bit weird, a little bit janky. Profilate, there you go. We saw that coming. Starting next turn as well, we're going to be able to sneak damage in. So he is going to have to start putting in some serious... So does our opponent attack in? If he attacks in with this guy, we could just double block. No, let's not. I don't care. I would rather make it so you have a hard time with me anyways, doing other things. If this was like the top 8 budget, top 8 kind of style, like the more expensive Merfolk deck, they would be so dead right now, because all of the lords in that deck have Island Walk, or give other Merfolk Island Walk, so it's just kind of playing against another blue deck, they're just impossible to deal with. And do we swing in for lethal now? I think we do, actually, because we just played another Merfolk Sovereign, and we tap down this guy. And that is lethal, so unless our opponent actually has a response, we will be going to the next game. Go to combat and swing in with all of the creatures, which should be, including you. Which should be game. It should be going to the sideboard now. I don't think our opponent has a response to this. They don't have fog, so wins the game. Okay, begin sideboarding. What do we need to bring in against this guy? Leaving in our Seize Claim is actually not a bad idea. We could actually reliably get off, or well, not reliably, but it is very possible for us to get a Laboratory Maniac combo off. Echoing Truth, on the other hand, definitely needs to come in, because that is... yeah, we're going to need something to bounce his stuff back to his hand. I think we're really going to run it back similar to the way it is, except we are going to take out a couple things. Not going to take out any of our lords. Master of Waves might be worth to keep in. Bident of Thassa, we can take out one of you. And we're going to take out... actually, Thassa, you can stay in. But I think we're going to take out... I'm going to take out 2 Judges Familiars. We left in the Cosi's Tricksters because I'd rather get the Merfolk triggers rather than trying to make our opponent play around stuff. And, yeah, I think we can keep this. Yeah, it's not the best opening hand, but I think we're going to keep it anyways. Oh, he finally gets a double thing. Graft creature. Yeah, cool. He may have shifted his game plan away from the counters. I don't know. Probably not. I'm sure that's his deck is like completely built around the idea of getting counters on and getting winning by that combo. Let me... oh, that's nice. Always good. Let me just open up these graveyards for you guys. So we will bam bam first turn and ship it to our opponent. Hopefully he swings in and then we'll just bounce Harbinger Tides back to his hand. That's our game plan here. What are you doing, Mr. Opponent? I just realized that our opponent is playing like 70 card deck. That's kind of weird. Okay, Simic Growth Chamber. Bouncing land back to his hand. So is he going to attack in? We'll find out. Yes he does, which means we're going to Harbinger of Tides hit back to his hand on our next turn. Which is perfect for us. That is exactly what we want. Oh, Cosi's Trickster, but I also want to play that. Nah. We're just going to cast it for its normal casting cost. There we go. Enters the battlefield. trigger this thing, and then we'll pass it back to our opponent's turn, where they can replay. Okay. So he is recasting his Simic in something or other? Initiate. Simic Initiate. And he plays a second one. Okay. 2 Simic Initiates. What do we think? It is going to be our turn again? He's obviously can't attack in. It is our turn again, and we could... we have 2 options. We could... I think this is better. This is just a way better option. So... play our Merrow Regery, and then we are going to go to combat, swing in with a 3/3, and either opponent takes 3 to the face, or he blocks and loses creatures, which I don't think is what he wants to do. I don't think that's part of his larger game plan. Ideally, he will attack in next turn, and then we will do the same thing we just did, and we are going to bounce it back to his hand. What we should actually be consider doing is throwing that Paradise Mantle on one of our creatures, so we can get that extra mana and get that Bident of Thassa out. This is a 2-turn game plan, so it's a little bit slow. The Paradise Mantle really is designed just for the combo, which in this deck we could easily get that combo off, assuming we... At this point, all we need to do is grab... We need to get one of our Puresight Marrows. Put 3 on a target creature. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, so if we get one of our Puresight Marrows, we can win the turn after? 2 turns after? Do I want to block 4/4? I don't want to block. I'd rather keep my 1/1 counter guy. And it is another Merrow Regery. Yeah, so we are going to Harbinger of Tides again, and bouncing this guy to his hand, and then I think we're actually going to equip this onto our... so we're just going to go to combat. Yeah, let's just go to combat, and swing in with both these guys, and then we're going to go to our main end step, and we're going to bounce this guy to our opponent's hand, and equip this onto probably this guy. So waiting for our opponent to respond. I actually didn't see that coming. Move any number of 1/1 counters from target creature to another target creature. That's mildly annoying. By mildly, I mean very annoying. Okay. So he's probably going to block our Merrow. It makes sense. That's okay. Not the end of the world, and do we do the same game plan as before? We can take a bunch of damage. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. Do we still do the same thing? Do we still Harbinger of Tides? Yeah, I think we can still Harbinger of Tides. This guy back to his hand. Is that worth it? I don't think it's actually worth it. I think it's probably better to Cosi's Trickster. Not my favorite play. But I'd rather keep Harbinger of Tides open. I can always yield. I do not need those count. I do not need to know about him being able to graft stuff onto my creatures. Always yield. And then we will play another Paradise Mantle, and we will equip Paradise Mantle onto our Trickster. So then next turn we will be able to actually play our Bident of Thassa, which means we may be able to start getting a card draw going, which would be nice. Hopefully he swings in again with this guy, and we'll just do the same thing. We'll Harbinger of Tide, or we'll Harbinger of Tide. Oh, no, he's never going to attack in with that. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So he's going to probably throw some counters onto this guy. We need to find a way of dealing with this one now. Again, if we get Bident of Thassa going, we could... Oh, that's a little bit curious. I didn't think that he would actually do that. Oh well, that's neat. Combat. He is probably going to swing in, and we will take 4 damage. And we are going to... Yeah, we're not blocking. So yeah, so on our turn, we are going to... we could Puresight Merrow. We could easily play the race game right now. Do I do that? Do I do that? I would love to do that, and we are going to do that. But we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we are going to cast Harbinger of Tides, bouncing this guy to his hand, so he isn't going to keep doing major damage to us. And then we will... We're not going to go to combat, but we will Puresight Merrow. So blue, blue, cast it, and then... Yeah, so we're going to go for the combo. We're going for the combo, guys. This is the plan. This is the plan. We are technically 2 turns away from the combo, because next turn we will have to throw the Paradise Mantle on him, and then we can start exiling the top of our library until we find a Laboratory Maniac, which then we can cast. Does that make sense? I don't think I explained any of that, actually. So our plan is, next turn, Paradise Mantle onto Puresight Merrow, use Puresight Merrow until we find a Laboratory Maniac, get Laboratory Maniac on the table, and then use Puresight Merrow again to completely exile our library, and then we're going to draw a card. And our opponent doesn't attack. I guess he doesn't really have anything to attack with, technically. Another Puresight Merrow. Throw you on you. Yeah. I really could use a land, actually. That is something I could actually use. But I don't have, which is fine for now. And do we... Yeah, so we are gonna, as well, play our Merrow Regery. And you can be white, whatever. Because at least give our fish a little bit bigger, be a little bit bigger. And then what do I think? I think we actually just sit and go to our opponent's turn. So just thinking how I can do this in the most efficient manner, because we're still a couple turns away, because we still need to get our Laboratory Maniac and then play it and then draw a card. End of our opponent's turn, we are going to exile the top of our library until we get Laboratory Maniac. This is the plan. It's a terrible and scary plan, but it is a plan. I don't have any blockers, so he's going to Proflate. This needs to get to 5. So that means next turn I'm going to have to swing in with all of my stuff to take down this guy a little bit. Okay, well, that's just fine. That's fine. End step. Yes. Oh, wait. Ugh. I hit 2 to pass rather than 3 to say yes, so that's a little bit annoying. But it's okay. We will play our Bident of Thassa now, which is going to draw us a bunch of cards. And then we are going to go to combat. Whew. Trying to get this combo off is always tricky. Let's go for... Yeah, let's go this way. Can I swing with everything? I cannot swing with everything. But I can swing with 3 things, which would draw me a single card. Is that worth it? Is it worth it? No, it is not worth it. But what is your second ability? Creatures your opponent control attack this turn if able. We are going to make our opponent attack, and we're actually going to kill this thing. That is our plan. Okay, go to our opponent's turn, because we're gonna triple block his Azorius lady. And as soon as we have priority, we will force him to attack with that thing. I'm assuming he doesn't have a response to my artifact. This is my assumption. In response, we're going to... Okay. Which means I need to triple block. Oh no, I can double block and be safe, I think. Unless he has that thing that moves counters around. Okay. So let's be safe. And triple block. Obviously, he's not going to be able to kill everything. He's only going to be able to kill one thing at most. So there's no reason not to do that way. And hopefully we kill it. If we don't, we may have just lost the game. Vote to find out. How does this work out? I really want to kill that creature, by the way. Because the most he can put onto it is 2 1/1 counters from this guy. If he does cast that spell where he moves counters from one thing to another. So move counters from target creature onto another target creature. Yeah, so even if he put 2 on here, we still kill it. 8. So yeah, we're still at 8. So it means he's going to kill 2 of my things, which is, I guess, a little bit better for him. But it doesn't mean he's winning the game. And I take 3 damage, which is fine. And what do we draw? If we draw a Laboratory Maniac, it is going to be bananas. We don't. But we could If we swing in, we would draw a card. I think we're gonna start doing this right now. Okay, unfortunately I hit buttons because I fumble the buttons like all the time. Okay. We're attacking with both our creatures because one of them is probably going to get through and draw us a card, so we're going to, in response to declare attackers, we're going to use our combo to find a Laboratory Maniac before they actually do their damage and draw us that card. Okay, we finally found a Laboratory Maniac. It only took us a while. I actually don't think we're actually going to have enough time to do the entire deck. Okay. So we'll go to block, he will block whoever, it does not matter. At this point, we will then use Bident of Thassa to draw a card, play our Laboratory Maniac. Honestly, I think there's a lot of better cards we could have drawn with that combo, but that's okay. We will ship it to our opponent's turn, and we will see if our opponent has any response to Laboratory Maniac, and if not, at their end step, we will literally just exile the entire deck. Or at least we're going to try to in 3 minutes. We're going to try our best. You know, we technically have it unless our opponent has a response. If our opponent has a thing that gives makes creatures bigger, that'd be scary as well. Obviously, damage has already been dealt, so it's now just triggers. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we're going for the clock, guys. We're going for the clock. And we did it! Oh my god, we did it with 7 seconds on the clock. We did the ultimate... Oh my god. Oh, that felt so good. Okay, there you go. I won with the combo in the deck because we weren't playing against a heavy creature control deck. Oh my god, guys. Woo! That was a little bit insane. That was a little bit insane. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this match, and I hope you guys were on the edge of your seat as much as I was. My game has a little bit of lag to it, so it's kind of like trying to do all the clicks and do it as fast as I can. Oh, that was insane. Well, okay. Thanks for watching Giant Monster Games. I'm Adrian. I hope you guys enjoy this deck. Until next time, and don't forget to game like a giant monster.